Are y'all ready to die? In a cave? Full of spiders? Maybe other things? Alright, Durance, stream. That whole situation. Does something ail you?
If doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
I saw something strange. You were sitting by the fire, and I saw a great light from your staff.
Tell me what you saw.
Durance is silent, staring at you, locking gazes, except for the part where he said something. It was a flash, like an explosion, a rushing of air, incredibly bright.
It is the light of the Godhammer you saw.
The Godhammer?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people, a symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
What do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end, knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Eothas overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Eothas of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed, and too bright to be forgotten.
You helped build the Godhammer?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who would come to stand on the bridge to stop Eothas.
I also saw a dozen bright circles emerging from your staff as well.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margren, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment, the light flaring slightly. It splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Eothas fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
Then it blossoms brightly, once, and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. And we shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Margren.
What do you mean, shared their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Margren, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Margren was pleased by what we had done.
Why is that?
The world is broken. The wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart. Perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing two gods. Even as Margren shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewin. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Margaret's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
What did you do?
I remembered Margaret's teachings, how reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel, like a mortal?
Durance's voice takes an odd upturn for once. It feels like he is genuinely asking a question. He shakes his head.
As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees, wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Margaret at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
Slightly unclear on something, because I can't... He talks about the Godhammer Bridge and so on. Was he one of the dozen? It almost sounded like he said he was one of the dozen. I thought the dozen died. But maybe they didn't. It seems that to suggest he's been around since the dozen happened, which I thought was longer ago, but maybe it wasn't. There's a lot of dense stuff to keep track of, so even stuff that I'm explicitly told, I don't always completely latch onto. Because we're trying to absorb this entire world with its ciphers and chanters and religions and governments and Radricks and Raymonds and so on, that I'm not entirely sure. Repetition is good in this case for some of the information because it's a lot to go through. They probably know who all the dozens were, right? Although it could be going by a different name. But yeah, it sounds like he shaped the Godhammer, which I thought was a while ago. Long enough for the dozens to repeatedly, apparently, lose track of what their organization was all about, according to Adair. No, I'm just wrong. I'm just used to lore being old, I guess. But Adair fought in that war that killed his god, so no. That's all recent history. Very recent history. And it's just the kind of story that feels like it happened a long time ago. Probably because of the deification of the dozen as being some sort of crazy figures that you would be... that it's easy to forget, like, oh, but that only happened like probably like 10, 20 years ago. Not in the ancient times that abstracted the nature of those humans that did what they did. Or kin. Not humans. Maybe humans, probably not all humans. What happened when you returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long, gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that Or had asked. Grabbed victory from defeat and...
You said a whore with the least bite I've ever heard anyone say the word whore in my entire life, I think. It was the quietest word of the entire paragraph. Like he's just used to saying it so much that he doesn't even put anything behind it at this point. Do you feel as if you betrayed your god?
There is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widwen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. to be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests, did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War, a relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
You committed atrocities and your goddess has shut you out for it. Exactly what you deserve. Sweat collects in the sooty creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is, for once, at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead from the back of a dirty hand. A rare chance to see him in panic. He's losing composure.
Huh? Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
Durance glares at you, and staring into his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
He's convincing himself with these rants. He's already shown his he's already shown his crack in the armor. Like, that was a very clear moment of he wasn't ready to hear that. Tell me what happened on the bridge. We chose the bridge because we could control it. Durance's hands tighten at the top of the staff, as if holding it by the neck. It was a place where we could choke Eothas in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was a spine of the Deerwood, symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Durance studies his staff, his eyes traveling along the etchings. Any weapon. Durance's face hardens and his eyes burn, his eyebrows narrowing. I suspect Eothas knew that as well, and so did his vessel, in its arrogance. His hands tightens on the staff. He intended to walk upon the bridge as if walking on the backs of the Deerwood. And we intended to burn him with the light of our faith and his. 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it. 212. Is that two separate sets of 12? I think so, yeah. Because you're hitting them with the light of the faith. So the shadow implies not in the range of the Godhammer. Gave yourselves to it.
We put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Widewind? Why?
We all studied Widewind. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family. what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
Why was that important?
You don't kill the god. You kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin. Burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did. At the cost of our own. And at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
Is that why your image was blurred in the dream? Durance frowns, glancing at you with a sharp look. Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the Godhammer's light, Watcher. He snorts. I may feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others. Yeah, he's full of shit.
If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margren, put them in a new light.
Yep, he's almost certainly broken in some ways, and his refusal to see or acknowledge that only furthers that. It looked as if there was only a part of you, as if your spirit had been sheared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
Oh, he does not like that. Well, that's one way to lose the ability to continue talking to him for now. Those are often the fun characters. The characters that don't want... Yep, continue to get to know Durance. Durance revealed to me that he was one of the engineers of the Godhammer bomb. There must be more to this that he isn't telling me. At least not yet. It'll be a little while. It'll be a little while.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyway, back to this cave we've not acknowledged for about half an hour. As it goes. It's always the fun part, though, is when you have party members that you don't get along with in an RPG. They're way more... That's what was so boring about Andromeda, is they forgot to have any party... Oh, that's... Dip, dip. Those are bones. Let's check out over here. Like, it was weird to me that, like, the people that made Sarah and Morrigan and a number of other characters then went on to make the cast of... Well, it's not, that's the thing, it's not the same people, because everyone quit BioWare practically, and that's just how it always goes, is that different people actually end up making the sequels to said games, and so on. Hey, Gary, can you get over here? There's gonna be a flank, and that's gonna be bad. But yeah, the people that made Morrigan went on to make... The company that should have known about the fact that it made Morrigan in the past went on to make stuff like Liam. What a waste of time. It's not even a... like, it's barely a character. Oh, that's a lot of... Widowmaker. Those are big... Okay. Hey, you. Can you make Widowmaker one of ours, please? Because that's going to be a problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
You are getting stormed immediately, aren't you? Okay, I think I accidentally cast his on rest ability first. Whoops. Where'd she go? Oh, she had to run all the way back in here. That's not good. Did she get it off at least? Yep, Widowmaker's on our team. Okay. That'll get something done. You fight this thing because it's right on you. Let's try to all fight this thing because I don't want Reaping Mother to go down right now. Okay. Thank you, Widowmaker, for being a massive traitor. Much appreciated. Okay. Hiravis, no. It's Itumak, who's also in trouble a little bit. Let's close the gap a little bit more and cast. There we go. There we go. Grieving Mother's doing alright. Hiravis is doing alright for a melee user, I suppose. But yeah, he's not the most durable one. I'm holding back a little bit on casting too much because I want to be full force for the next bit. Let's see. A summon probably makes the most sense because the Widowmaker is about to betray us. There we go. Well, sure is a rather monster-filled dungeon. A fine mace. It's fine is not worth investigating. Fine is whatever. Scroll of Revival. Now that's worth looking at. Wow. Yeah, put that AoE. That's not where my mouse was at all. How did you grab that? Okay. What? There's definitely like kind of like a lag to click and drag sometimes where it somehow picks up a completely different thing. It's happened too much for me to be imagining it. What? I thought I was clicking on Ed-Air. Okay. Alright. So scrolls are equipped like they should have been the whole time, frankly. Got a few for you. I might use them during this upcoming fight when things get nastier. We'll see. There are still more spiders to be fought. At this rate, we might have to rest again before the... Oh, Spider Queen! Okay. Once upon a time, I thought that Spider Queens were gonna be... I was thinking that was more of a boss fight or something.
You're kind of stuck over here.
Okay. Let them come. Don't know if this will work. Might be worth a try. Oop, Ichimak's already out. Immune. Did you just say it was they were immune? Ichimak. Oh no, she hasn't cast yet. Whatever they were immune to is something else. There we go. Spider Queen's a traitor. Anyway, get back behind the back line before you die. Ah! Fight it. Okay, Spider Queen will turn this fight around. Oh my god, being able to mind control the top enemy is an interesting option to have. Throw a summon down. Hey there, Durance. I mean, if you could just increase our endurance. Isn't it funnier every time I say it? It's just really funny to me that they can name the healer Durance. It's just, I feel like it's self-evident why that's kind of ridiculous. Ichimak's really having a trouble. Having a trouble. Good sense. Huh. Spider Queen wasn't that threatening this time around. When everyone focus fires them, I guess. We did have more people. Alright, let's maybe just have the front line as Ed-Air. You are the proper tank now. Ichimak will also be slightly in the back line just to reduce their early aggro, because he can be more helpful if he doesn't die immediately, and it seems like the one character who can really just take a hit is apparently
on the trail.
Apparently Ed-Air, which is expected. I'm gonna have to rest again, I think. Let's finish the dungeon, except for the scary area full of skulls, obviously. But yeah, multiple people are down to half health. These spider fights take it out of you. And unfortunately, this ability is kind of close range. Yep, range of only 5 meters. I didn't notice that when I picked it. I wouldn't have stopped me because it's really powerful, but these other abilities have twice the range, so she has to go unusually close to the target to pull it off. Are those giant spider legs? What was that sound? Thick webs ripple in the cavern breeze. Mummified remains are tangled within them. Scroll of Fireball. That's fun. Did that go where I wanted it to go? Nope. You can't do it quite that way. What was that ringing noise? Also, there's another exit. That's interesting.
Yeah.
If secrets whisper here, I shall listen for them.
Something to investigate on the way out, I suppose. I feel sorry for my party right now. Me making them spend like 2 days in here. We're almost certainly going into a big bad fight. I might have not rested the first time if I realized how long this was going to be. But I kind of figured it would be like one big bad spider ambush and then we can move on. Because that was such a big spider ambush, I thought that was it. But not only was there like 2 more of that size, one of them had the Spider Queen boss in it. So little did I know. I wonder if the ogre has a friend that I can mind control.
Someone's a messy eater.
Or maybe he's friendly. Probably not. Those are admittedly not human corpses, as far as I can tell. They're huge and of a shape I don't fully recognize. Or it's just a bear? Oh, he has friendly bears that I can mind control. Korgrak. As you advance into the darkness, the ground begins to tremble. You hear plodding footfalls, growling breaths, and bone-snapping crunches. An ogre steps out of the shadows, 10 feet tall and bulging with muscle. He tears a mouthful from a hoofed, pink-fleshed limb and tosses it aside. He watches you from under the thick ridge of his brows. Too well equipped to be a villager. A bandit from the road, then. Must be. The ogre snorts and tightens his grip around a club. I've kept to myself. Killed no one but the fools reckless enough to chase me down here. Why have you come to look for me? A farmer from Deerford claims you ate his pigs. He rams a fist into the wall and roars. Then I should have eaten the blazing farmer. I underestimated the love these villagers have for their swine. Calm down. Perhaps you could tell me something else. His toothy frown deepens. What? If you've been minding your own business, how did all these bones get here? He grinds his teeth with impatience. Spiders got most of them. The rest blundered in here looking for trouble. What are you doing in this cave? Hiding from your kind. He scratches a tusk, glaring at you. Kith driven from their homes by strange storms. Bandits out for blood and coin. My kind is unsafe around Kith at the best of times, but now? Tempers run hot, and ogre blood is valued among your alchemists. His fingers flex around his club. The only reason you'd hole up in a spider-infested cave is if you really feared something out there. He smashes his club into the ground. I told you, the Kith on the road these days hunger for anything they can eat or sell. I wouldn't last a week wandering the open, not by myself. He clutches his club with both hands and draws it closer. And you seem sensible enough to understand that now that you've found me here, I can't let you leave. This place isn't safe. Even if you kill me, it's only a matter of time before someone else finds you. He grits his teeth and glares at you. His eyes hard and narrow with rage. Korgrak takes several heaving breaths, seemingly ready to charge in any second. Finally, he drops his club. That's what I was afraid of. He sighs, blasting you with his fetid breath. Time to move on, then. That's not a bad example. Since I'm friendly with him, I could just have him defend Cadnua, and in which case he has a place where he's welcome instead of running around hiding everywhere. Not the worst. Since he talks about how nowhere is safe, I might be able to propose an option as the apparent ogre lover I am. I have a stronghold in Cadnua. Help me defend it and you can stay as long as you'd like. Sell my services for the shelter of a fortress. Sounds like another kind of trouble. But perhaps one I can handle. He begins shuffling back into the shadows. If you need me, you know where to find me. I'll leave Deerfoot alone for now. Well, he took to it. And he's got bears. I want to see a cool ogre and 2 bears just hanging out in my base. There might be reasons why he's more trouble than he's worth, though. We'll see. Skulls and bones from an assortment of kith and beasts litter the cavern. They've been crushed, scored, gnawed, and punctured by something with fangs as thick as Namawa's finger. Of course, if he wants food, he could always go into the depths of Adnua and find his own, instead of risking the ire of the villagers in the overworld. Oh, he's got 3 bears. That one was... Somehow we didn't see that one, because they're so subtle, bears. The bears are basically just here to show the scale of how big he is. We may have an understanding, but I promise nothing for anyone else who wanders in here.
Nice and slow.
Nope, no surprises. Yay, peaceful outcome. Killed all the spiders. Yep. He was right. The people in the village know where he is. I was able to find him pretty easily, and since I went and killed all of his spiders, the biggest deterrent he had is gone. Whoops. Might have a new worker here soon. That'll be interesting. I have no idea where this other exit leads to. Maybe the other side of the cliff. Maybe where... I'm still thinking that maybe this area might be where Sagani wants to go. Load for me. Huh. It's up here. Who's that guy? Tattered note and a skull. Oh, there's the key I needed. Except I was able to just do it myself. Skane Initiate's hood. This oddly shaped hood is worn by the novice of the worshippers of Skane, crudely fashioned from coarse material. Its modest construction befitting followers of the quiet slave. Cultist robes. Basically just fine robes. 5 DR. Those who plot the destruction of their superiors while keeping an impassive face will whisper a prayer to Skane. Political rebels also call upon him for justice, in the hope that he will intercede on behalf with Wedeka, with whom he is associated. However, Skane is an unforgiving deity. If a supplicant tips his hand or acts too rashly, the god will abandon them. The same goes for those who actually achieve their ambitions and rise to a higher station. They can no longer count on Skane for aid. These robes are comprised of little more than a simple undyed piece of cloth, tied at the waist by thick cord. They have been used during the grim rituals of the Skane faithful, it seems, for they are splattered in patches of blood, both recent and long dried. No. Is that the tattered note? No, that's the other one. That's for me going to the gift. Let's see. I'll have to track it down in quest items, I'm sure. So DR6, DR5. Because they're both fine. Yeah, I already have a fine item. The downgrade's perhaps unnecessary. Although it looks cool. That's quite the appearance for the pain-oriented character. God damn. I think I'll keep her on black and gray too. Neat. Adds the whole grieving mother motif. We're just up here on a ledge now. Can I get down? No. Nope. Are you ready for 2 loading screens? Yeah. I love loading screens. Listen. You are not getting a slot on my SSD. There are games that need that more. Alright, so we got the skull key, which we needed if we didn't have enough contraption mechanism points. We'll check out the broken statue in a bit. I just want to fill out this map real quick. Alright, and check the journal. Wait, did you get it? How did you get it? I thought I clicked on Yaskier. The note is blood-stained and torn, and the edges are smudged with a kind of pigment. From the scraps that are legible, you can make out hastily written instructions. To avoid the entrance in the tower, traffic through my shop would attract the attention. Deerford may be sympathetic to our goals, but they wouldn't approve of a temple. Yet, key to the entrance by the river, east of town. Be careful on the road. Reports these days. He must have wandered into the cave, got attacked by spiders, panicked, and ran out the other exit when he saw it. To avoid the entrance in the tower. Traffic through my shop would attract attention. Someone named T. I hear tower, so I'm tempted to think of the guy who sent us here, but I think it's a different tower. I don't remember what his name was. We shall see. Whoa. This, whatever's up here might be bad. A worm. No, just another worm. Oh, a bunch of worms. But why were the other ones all dead? I wonder. Bounce shot. Whee! That's a lot of bouncing. You didn't need damage reduction, did you? Is he even gonna live long enough for it to go off? Oh, it already went off, I guess. Yeah. He's out of cast, so it must have already gone off. Oh, I was still in fast forward to that fight, wasn't I? He was out here taking Svef, and he wandered into a crowd of those guys, apparently. Ooh. What am I walking in on? Oh! Sevis. A man turns to face you, wiping blood from his estoc. His knit brow betrays a moment of confusion, but as he watches you, a slow, confident smile creeps over his face. The Iron Brand does not meet many travelers this far from the road. What would they be doing out here? An elven man cocks his head at the other, probably after that dragon egg, same as us, boss. A dwarf curses and spits into the grass. It's a rhetorical question, you dimwit. He triggers his He tightens his grip on the sword. Everyone knows the roads between the villages, crawling with brigands. They're obviously bandits, same as us. No, not in this case. Oh God. What a fucking line. Oh, can I scare them off with that? Some false bluster from an otherwise not so blustery character usually. It's a good thing there's a giant egg nearby. Nothing stirs my appetite like looting corpses. That doesn't sound good for us. He begins to back away. For once, Ralph, I think you've got the right idea. Oh. Did they all take off or just those? Oh, two of them ran off. Where are you cowards going? He watches Ralph and Norgar flee with mounting dismay. He looks back at you. First things first. Oh, he's still gonna go? Okay, I mean, I tried to be creative and stop this from escalating, but seems we're weirdly willing to keep going. All right, you go after him. Let's have Itumak go after you. Oh, let's click on this. Everybody kill the caster, but you kill him. And Itumak just gets busy with Blissa. While we're at it, he'll open by tanking with him, but let's see. You're probably not immune to anything. Oh, combat has to start. Does everyone still have their orders? Yeah. Okay. That keep clicking everything wrong. If we can mind control their leader, then this will go. Yep, that'll go very badly for him. Okay. It was instantly effective. I was still sending Adair to attack because it might have not taken. Send Adair after Elfia. Send everyone after Elfia. End the caster as fast as possible while this guy kills his teammate. Or he wandered off. Oh, he got knocked prone. Gotcha. All right. Well. My hope was that if I scared them enough, they might just give up on this entire concept. But instead... Paralyzed, yay. But instead, half them ran away, and then the other ones were like, I'm gonna fight you. I'm like, dude, we just let those guys run away. That was your opening. Instead, you're like, 3 on 7? I like those odds, which is a fun action movie line, but doesn't work out, usually. Alright, well... Another Grimoire. Oh, right. My Grimoire character isn't around. Interesting. Yeah. Well, there we go. A fine breastplate. And fine leather armor. And an exceptional estoc. Neat. I don't think most people need one though. Aren't we? Yeah, we're using unique weapons, which I prefer generally speaking, because they seem to have special abilities. Should I be enchanting this? Since I may be sticking it out. 1200. I don't know. I would maybe prefer to just get her a better weapon. And then enchant that one. Well. Probably should have asked them about why somebody would want a dragon egg. Don't know if they would have answered, but might have wanted to ask that at least. This is a really eventful, crowded zone with a lot going on, isn't it? Okay. Let's go ahead and try to interfere with you guys, because you're making this bad for me. Okay. I could use some interference here. Please distract them before they kill Grieving Mother. Grieving Mother, run! There we go. He'll be fine. Yeah, downside of doing that kind of attack. They'll get really mad at you.
Right.
My chance to loop around to here. Ooh, a forest lurker. Time to use that bonus against wilders. Oh, those are primordials actually. Those are also primordials. None of these are wilders. Well, there's a body with stuff on it. Gonna be a little awkward fighting with the camera not being able to center because this whole half the screen's being wasted. Yeah. Hope for the best. Okay, you. Please make one of them my friend, because this is a lot of enemies. Bit crowded at the moment. Okay. This is a good time to cast some of your spells because this is a bad situation. Bow AoE, shock damage. Striking a random single enemy in the area of effect periodically with bolts of lightning. For a while. It's a fun spell to cast right now. That'll be eventful. Is one of them currently on my team? Did she cast it yet? She casted it. Puppet Master. It's Forest Lurker. It appears to have worked. I think it's Forest... they all look like they're enemies. I can't really tell if it worked or where it landed. It's really hard to make sense of this mess of icons and color. Okay. Can you even knock these guys down? They're immune to dominated. God damn it. But you're not. So I should have cast it on a Pigwara. These guys are immune to domination. They're immune to all mind effects. And yeah, but they can be knocked prone. Yeah. Okay, so that was just a waste of all of my amazing spellcasting power. Where is Adair? I genuinely am not sure. There's a Tumak. Hiravis. That's Hiravis? Oh, he's knocked prone as a giant wolf lion creature. Is that? There's Adair. Okay, so Adair's fighting this guy. Kick his ass. Okay. So do you currently have this thing cast now? Stock hobbled. Infestation of maggots. Gross. That's a lot of infestations of maggots you've got at the same time. 2 grazes and a crit. That's really gross. Oh yeah, he cast it. You can see the circle here. That's fun. I also have infestation of maggots. Isn't this fun? 10 damage by percentage of endurance lost over 25 seconds. Enemies in the area of effect have their skin infested with hordes of burrowing maggots, inflicting raw damage over time. The more wounded the target, the greater the damage. The target at maximum endurance takes no damage from the spell. Oh. I don't know how that math works out though. But the more wounded, the greater the damage. Huh. 10 damage by percentage of endurance lost over 25 seconds. So if they've lost 10% of their endurance, do you multiply that by the 10 and they take 100 damage? That gets too high too fast though, doesn't it? I don't know. Either way, it does more damage the more damaged they are. Fortunately for me, they're not particularly damaged, so it's not a great sign for me. But you guys are all being attacked by this Pigwara, so we want to do something about that. I can't dominate them because I wasted all of my power, and we haven't really had much more come in. I should safeguard us because this is actually a dangerous fight. Try to soak up some energy here. Did he cast it yet? He did. Okay. Hey, a forest lurker went down. There's that. And Ichimaka is down. Charmed, confused. Okay, so paralyzed. You can paralyze the Pigra, but not the other one. So paralyzed is not the best approach right now. I think a flanking attacker will help. There we go. Kind of need somebody to just deal with that problem. So if everyone can just try to deal with the fact that Grieving Mother's under attack right now, that'd be helpful. New Phantom should be distracting. We're all about to die. Durance grazes for pierce damage. Did Durance ever cast what I wanted him to do? I could use like a character specific... No, Watchful Presence, okay. I could use like a character specific log where if you click on a character's name it shows their messages of what happened to them and what they've done. Just because I'm trying to keep track of all these different spellcasts across players and characters. Party's not doing great right now. I'm just going to want to generally try to heal everyone again. Friendly AoE. Wait, around where? Around the caster. Gotcha. Between those two, hopefully we'll both... Hopefully Hiravis won't die. I don't know if I've actually... I think I haven't read through all of his spells yet. I think I got distracted because we got two characters back to back. Like we got another new character before I even got the chance to read what his character was like. Okay, Nature's Bomb is on you. He's still casting the other heal. Oh no, Putrefaction. Corrosive damage. Blizzard. That's an AoE against everybody. Lesser Blight. Firebrand. Old Beasts. There's no beasts here. Insect Swarm. That's the foe AoE, right? I can use that. And hope for the best right now. This is Frightened. Can they be frightened? There's a small Wind Blight thrown in. I cannot frighten a Forest Lurker, but I can frighten a Wind Blight, I guess. And these guys. Anything to just kind of help make progress here. Grieving Mother takes a while to make any focus generate. It might be because she's being actively attacked. She might be getting interrupted left and right and other bad things. This is a tough situation right now. Ichimaka's down like always. That's what he does. Like we are just covered in bad things. It's a little hard to resolve. And it's a little hard to make out who's fighting who or engaged with what. You knock this guy, because we can prone him, right? Yeah. Knock him. If you knock them on their ass, Grieving Mother can try to take a back row at least. I hope. And Yaskier just went down. Okay. This is harder than the other fight. And Grieving Mother is down. Okay. How are we doing? Time to blow more crazy, angry spells. Right, this is the spell that is somehow not friendly. Double clicked on accident. There's the one that's somehow not friendly fire, so... not the best targeting here. Yeah. The boundary of the map counts, but not much else. And you really want that AoE to hit them. The wall damage is where the really good damage happens. Taste of the hunt. Melee weapon becomes the ideal instrument for hunting, adding continuous raw damage to its attack and restoring endurance with the caster with every hit. Wow. Probably should have cast that sooner. That might help keep him alive now that we're running out of people. So I'll give that a go. Oh no, did I not cast it or did it run out? Because damage reduction is important. There we go. And Hiervis is down. Okay. We are quickly starting to become outnumbered. Thankfully, Adair is very hard to kill, so we might still have a chance. Yeah, we could use crits right around now. Now that we're down to 3 people. You can't be hobbled. You did not just do that. Come over here. Nope, that didn't actually pull them over. Okay. Okay, how big is that? Not very big. Conic projection. Might be a time to do something like this. Okay. Hey, Durance killed a forest lurker, isn't that fun? I think it still is finished, it has to finish casting. I think. There we go. Everything's lighting up again. Okay, the 3 people left aren't dying. Oh no, it did grayed out because it was a level 3 spell and I can't cast any more of those. I should be using withdrawal to defend people. Damn it. Oh, that's totally the kind of cool trick I would be pulling off if I was playing a D&D druid because I'm focused on my one character's abilities. But I'm trying to keep track of the spell books of so many characters. Where even is Adair? He's right there. Can you focus this guy because they're almost down? It's at least progress, I hope. Because we need to reduce the number of attackers. Causes stuck. If I can make that guy stop, especially if he's not in range of Adair yet, that'd be helpful. Okay. AoE is currently working nicely. Did you make Adair stuck? He is stuck. For 10 seconds, okay. So no, we're not getting out of halt. we gotta fight this out ourselves. Finish her.
Through me.
Okay, she's down. We're winning this, damn it. This got super messy. I should have been aggressively casting more often at the beginning, but I didn't realize just how bad this fight was gonna get. We're obviously resting, so fuck it. Throw more spells around. Sagani? What? What did you use? Hits Ed there for 21 crush damage. Character death Sagani. Oh, Pigra knocked out Sagani, so it was an effect that she didn't get cured from. Okay, second win time. There we go. He's got full shit to endurance now. Now you're really boned. Really, this whole fight would have also gone better if I had not cast my mind control spell on like the only person that couldn't be mind controlled. I made mistakes. But yeah, the spells per day system has one effect of just being that it encourages you to preserve your resources, which means you need to gauge how tough fights actually are. Does he have more health than earlier? I thought he was down to his last pip. Now he's down to just straight up low health, which is just not good. Let's increase our allies' might by standing closer. Because right now his actual health is getting lower. All of his abilities are spent at this point. Oh, that's not useful anymore. Cast on him. God, is he healing faster than he dies now that we're alone? That might be a problem. There we go. Oh, it missed. That's not good. I'm trying to punish them for... Yeah. It's an actual attack, and it also reduces their defenses. We need focus fire. Okay, it missed twice. Damn. Yeah. I guess his fortitude is pretty high. What are our scrolls right now? We do have a revival scroll, but I think we can beat him without spending that rare, unique item. Nah, Eddar's fine. Just keep smacking him for a bit. He might just die. Please die. Please. Please die. There we go. I'm like, you're near death, asshole. Die of your near deathness. Huh. Oh.
Right.
Hope those rare resources were worth it. I haven't even gotten to the egg yet, which probably summons dragon to kill me. Boots of the Long March. 15 max endurance, 2 athletics. These boots bear the rising sun of Aothas, and they were first worn by a foot soldier in Sate Wanwood's army. The daughter of poor Vorless farmers, she was sickly and frail all of her life. Yet, such was her devotion to Aothas that, when the Red Saren army marched on the Deerwood, she set off to join them against her family's warnings, traveling all the way to the White March on her own. When she finally arrived at the army's camp, it is said that Saint Wadwood himself came out to greet the young woman, blessing her for her courage and endurance. Her boots were branded with the emblem of his army, and she continued across the mountains with the troops. She disappeared, however, after the detonation of the Godhammer. Historians and folklorists disagree on whether she died in the explosion, remained in the Deerwood, or met another fate on her way back to Redsaras. But her boots somehow remained behind. Aothas' faithful often maintain that she ascended with the god himself in the end of the war, leaving only the shoes that had served her so faithfully. Are you wearing boots yet? Yeah, you are. Yeah, the anti-prone one. I want that on my tank, I'm sure. So, bloop. More maximum endurance. For poor Hiravis and his half-equipped character. Definitely a downside of having 2 new people in the party. Gotta figure out what they're gonna wear. The glamour of it all. I guess we'll have to go shopping. Bummer. Hard to categorize what wilders are a little bit. All of those enemies counted as primordials.
Huh.
But a troll, I think, was a wilder. But I think wilder are just Kith style creatures that are a little more beastly and a little more wild and a little more less likely to just be in a village of any kind. And in expected society, I suppose. But they're otherwise still bipedal and probably use weapons or something. Whereas those things are like made of tree. So that might be why they aren't that. That's a little big. I'm a little looking for something a little shorter today, maybe. The queen that was and still is. Dear sisters, do you still remember your first deliverance? When you strangled the first wrongdoer, did you see the moment his life became death? Could you see the instance when your victim realized that Woedica forgets nothing? When Woedica takes back her throne, will you face her with pride, knowing that you held to your oaths? Or will you be amongst the word breakers? Woedica teaches vengeance and memory, and while she is in exile, we must be her eyes and ears that let no injustice slip from the record. We must be clenched fist that silences the lying breath. When Woedica takes back her throne, all of the injustices that have slipped through the cracks of history must be righted. The villains hiding in plain sight amongst the innocent will feel the burned queen's choking grasp. Pray that you live to see the day when you will join our queen in this cleansing of the wicked. But know, my sisters, that we must be ready to see the end of our days, without the return of the queen, for she will take back her throne, but it may be our daughters that serve the restored court. We must continue to live as we have always lived, hated by the other faiths, even though we place justice above our own well-being. At least the Empire of Adir still holds our creed in proper esteem. It is a proper sign of respect that, by imperial custom, our clergy must oversee a contract for it to be legally binding. For who else understands the value of remembering one's oath than Woedica's faithful? And let us not count our current blessings, for we still enjoy the support of the Paladin Order, the Steel Garrote. What a hell of a name for a Paladin Order. They too understand that society is built and broken by the oaths and rules of its people. When Woedica takes back her throne, my family will know that I was right to commit my life to the exiled queen. When Woedica takes back her throne, the Strangler will stop being a story told to frighten our daughters, but a hero woven into parables that teach our children justice. When Woedica takes back her throne, she will bring her flawless memory with her. Every transgression, every crime, and every injustice will be revealed. When Woedica takes back her throne, even gods won't be spared their due retribution. Okay. Bit of flavor text for our upcoming... not flavor text. A bit of context for our upcoming encounter with the not so happy temple we're going to visit. The next, because well, I'll remind you, the next story beat is to visit the Temple of Woedica. So she's the god of vengeance and memory. How's that going to go for us?